Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your mornings to spend. You know what? I love connecting with you guys on Saturday mornings. I don't know what it is. We started doing it like 2 years ago, started doing book studies and stuff. And I love Saturday mornings with you guys. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you about how your week has gone. My gratitude journal this morning started off with being thankful for fresh starts. And I want you guys to know that no matter where you are in your business or where you are in your personal life, we get to choose to start again every day. There is absolutely zero that we can do to change what has happened in the past. You can do things to rectify your and things like that. But there's nothing we can do. So if we have dropped the ball or we haven't known something or whatever, we can't go back and learn it like 5 months ago. But today we get to start fresh with new ideas and new purpose. So I want to encourage you guys with that. How did your week go? Are we all still living? Like, out of the deep freeze, please. Leanne, what is it like where you live?
It's kind of the same as you guys. I don't know what we are this morning. We were in the -40 wind chills. They never closed school.
Yeah.
So we're -28, feels like -33. But we have a forest, so we don't have that prairie wind. I grew up in Manitoba, so oh, lovely.
Yeah. I actually really miss being up north. Like, I don't know if you guys knew this. I lived 3 hours south of Martins. So like we almost lived, we were really close. Oh yeah, it's -36 here. And the wind chill, that cannot be right. It says it's a -36 wind chill. I think that there's something wrong. But we didn't have wind chills. I was all excited when we went up there because it was like you didn't have a ton of wind. But here's the difference. When it's cold, it's just freaking cold. You can't get out of, like, you don't get into your car and go, oh, that feels warmer because you're out of the wind. No, it's just that cold. And we would get Chinooks up there though. So that's what I miss. But yeah. Anybody else? How's everybody else doing? I love that Nikki's like breaking it down this morning. Diana's probably doing the same thing, and that's why her camera isn't on. Did anybody have any epiphanies this week? Is everybody awake this morning? No.
My epiphany is that it needs to not be 40 below so I can get outside and walk. And now I've also decided that who cares if it means you run around the block 3 times during the day, it's got to be done. Because like mentally not being able to get out and do that, because I go for like an hour walk a day or 45 minutes, right? Typically. And yeah, I realized, holy, get out the door. I haven't done the get out the door part yet, but I will.
Good for you.
I'm just excited because in my 2-week forecast, I see 0. One day there's a 0 day. So I'm just like,
right?
Clinging to that.
The number is invalid. 736 9 3 6 8 2 9 0. Sorry, we've got some people that are trying to call in via phone. 736 936 8290. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the forecast too. Can I say that during these times of like temperature fluctuation, I get super thankful that my arthritis doesn't exist anymore.
Totally.
Those would be yucky times. Yeah. So I love this particular topic that they're talking about, retention. We'll jump right into that. Guys, how many of us have ever done another network marketing company before, or maybe currently? So if you have done something different and you are newer, you are probably starting to realize that there is a vast difference between Plexus and most everything else. Now, I don't know everything under the sun, so I'm going to say most everything else. And a lot of that has to do with retention, a lot of that has to do with residual income, and it is a thing. And oftentimes when we bring people into this business who have maybe had big success with other companies or moderate success with other companies, where it is simply a transactional sale thing or a party plan or any of those kinds of things, it's really hard to shape your brain around a different model. And so when we talk about people, when we talk about retention, when we talk about follow-up, again, how many of us have bought something from another direct sales network marketing, whatever company, and no shade to the ambassador that you bought it from or consultant or whatever, but how many of us have ever had follow-up after a month of using your spatula or whatever that you, like, how many of us have ever had that kind of follow-up? I have never, like when I sold candles, I mean, it really wasn't something that we did, right? It was more so you were chasing the next sale. You weren't checking in on what they'd bought before. It just, somebody I'm sure did it somewhere, but it wasn't something that was done. And I think that it's just a relearning and repatterning of our brains and our belief systems. So what I want to start out with talking about is Brooke goes into a lot of detail on dough. How many of us have no idea what dough is? You guys were probably pretty lost. You're like, what is this thing? And that kind of helped me. How many of us did dough back in the day? This is where I was able to like landmark it into my calendar. I was like, oh yeah, that was like 2 years ago, right? Because before we had no bandwidth as to when we actually did this thing. So dough was basically and I think actually that Brooke helped develop it. Yes, Jimmy.
People still aren't getting in. What do we need to do?
I have the number that Leona had given wasn't right.
Oh, okay.
So I had just put it in. I don't know what to say about the call-ins. Oh, there's Katie.
Oh, she got in.
Yep, she's right here.
Okay.
If you wanna,
Stacy, did she get in? Stacy, the other Stacy.
It's not letting me call in. I don't know anything about calling.
Is there a link we can share with her?
Oh yeah.
She's actually phoning. She's using the phone.
I don't know anything about that.
No. There we go.
If you email the Zoom information, I think it, like if it's emailed to her, there's a link that I think that there's a link that you can do the other options.
So basically what happens is when you give the information, it says, if you're in this country, you can use this number. So it'll give Canada, US, whatever, and then you call that number.
Yeah, if she's using the same number as the last time and it's not letting her call in, that might be a Zoom issue and not something that I can troubleshoot from here. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Katie. Way to be persistent. So dough was, and I think that it still is, it's a way to handle your prospects, your customers, your current ambassadors, all of those things. It's something that we used for a season, and it was really helpful for a season. Some of us were using something else before that. But right now, in the season that we're in, I am actually really, really loving our Trello and the spreadsheet concept. I think no matter what you use, as long as you are using something that is helping you, as long as you're using something that that is helping you remember people. Sorry, I'm just gonna look here for a second, guys. I'm just checking to see if I can find anything that's helping, that will help. I don't know if there is anything. Yeah. Anyway, so basically what dough did was it actually gave you the names of people to follow up with and all of those kinds of things. which was nice. The only issue is you had to download your entire list of people into it from Facebook or wherever you were using it. And then you had people in there that maybe were ambassadors or maybe were whatever. It did take a lot of the guesswork out, but I personally like using Trello. Now, if you guys haven't looked into Trello, it's free, which is the one major bonus. We all like a good deal. Free is good. And you can basically make it what you want to make it. The other piece, when Rosanna Penner came on to our call, if you guys need to go back and take a look at that, it's on my YouTube. Rosanna Penner talked about spreadsheets, and then she talked about using Trello for follow-up. I love it because you can use, like, you can log everything, you can see everything, you can set reminders in there. There's all of those things. You just need to put the names in, which I think that it's fair. The one thing I want to encourage you guys to do, and if I would have been sitting where you're sitting like 4 years ago, I would have been like, I can't do that. My encouragement is to stop using a notebook or stop using like 6 bazillion notebooks, because that's me. I write things down and I'm like, hey, what notebook did I write that down in? Was it the one with the purple cover or the one with the flamingo? I don't like, because if you don't have a system that is like lock, stock, and barrel, that's exactly what you're going to use every single time. You will just grab anything and think, oh, I'll put it in there at some point in time. You won't. Like it will get lost. You will write it down somewhere. So using something like Google Sheets, so that can be shared across all of your devices, and Trello, which really is a lovely app as well as on the computer. How many of you guys are using those new concepts like Trello? And yeah, it's a little bit to figure out, but if you give yourself a little bit of time, it will be really worth it. I love how you can log all of your conversations that you've had with people. You can write down the welcome packs that they've used, all of those things. So it is really worth your time to do it. Yep. And as long as somebody said they're using Evernote, and whatever works for you, right? It does not have to be Trello and spreadsheets. It can be something else, but as long as it works for you. And remember from last week, we talked about setting up the systems that are going to serve you when you have a team of 500 people, right? Like, do something that you're going to be able to explain to somebody else and tell them to use, right? Make it simple enough for duplication. Yeah, and Diana said she's using the app for reminders, which is great, seeing as how we've just gotten the app. Jimmy Lou, you're coming on again. She's like, yeah, that's fine. It's all good. We're loving it.
I'm just trying something to see if it'll help to get.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for dealing with that. So yeah, the other thing is follow-up systems in themselves, right? And how many of us will often think, oh, I don't have time to get that set up right now, or I'll do that later, or whatever, right? And how I love how Brooke says, it took you like 20 minutes to set that up. Now, what was all that drama about, right? I love how she speaks. Was anybody else moved by the conviction that both she and Christy have when they speak and when they train? Like, Go ahead.
I just think the thing I love the most about them, they're so different. Like, Christy comes on with makeup and her earrings, and she just looks beautiful, and I love listening to her. But then Brooke comes on, she's like sweating it up. She's got her hair in a ponytail. She's just finished a workout or whatever. And yet they're just both so relatable. And I really appreciate that about both of them.
Yeah, for sure. Lisa.
I was going to say something similar. They are very, very opposite. And I find it, what's Christy's last name?
Jax.
Jax or Jax?
Jax. J-E-X.
Okay. She's spunky and I like it. Like they're so very opposite, and Brooke's so like calming and it doesn't need to be dramatic. And then Christy's just spunky. I love it.
Can you imagine with that? They both have that same thread of conviction though, like as in, that they have rock solid belief in what they're doing. Their mindset is set, right? And I'm pretty sure if they told me to do something, I'd be like, okay. And it wouldn't really matter what it was, right? And that's where we realize that how we present ourselves to our people reflects what we believe in here, right? And that's why our own mindset work is so much bigger than just selling a bottle of vitamins, right? It's what you believe about your ability to help people. Like, I don't know if you guys caught this, that Christy said when she was giving an example of what she would say to somebody. Did you catch that she said, I have helped many people through this, and I know we can get you results? Would you be able to say that? Be like, I know what to do with this, right? And sometimes we can get caught in that fear of, well, what if they hit detox and I just can't help them through it? Well, why can't you?
I really liked what she said with the follow-up about you joined because of this, this, and this. And as long as you're patient with the results, consistent with your products, and keep in touch with me, we can get through this. I can't do those 3 things for you. I will show up for you, but I can't do those 3 things for you. I like that.
Don't you love that? It's absolving you from those things. I mean, yes, we all have those people where you're like, gosh, if I could just show up on your doorstep with your pills every morning and be like, here, show me. Right?
Stace, do you want to just repeat that one more time? It's just so good. Just repeat it. I love that line. I'm going to have to write it down, but I love it. Say it again.
Okay, you joined because of X, Y, and Z. As long as you are patient with your results, consistent with your products, and keep in touch with me, we can do this. And then just implying that those 3 things they need to do, I can't do those things for you. I will show up for you. But I can't do those 3 things for you.
And that's the key, I think. And I'll just say, I've used those, like I've said those things, right? I have something written out, but that's the key part, I'll show up for you, but this is really, the ball is in your court, right? And I'm the type of person, I want to give the world to somebody all the time. Like I'll just, give up my own food or whatever, just to here, have it, go, but it doesn't always help people, right? The ball is in their court, right? They have to make that first initial, right? So I love that. I love that kind of that last part, how important that is. So yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I also liked how she talked about showing up for the 60 to 90 day version of them, right? Like we know that they can get there. And like I have 2 girls right now, we are working through some stuff, and it's just like, you want to strangle them and be like, no, like you're not doing the things. Like you can't come to me after, 6 weeks and say, I'm feeling like garbage, but I'm only taking 1 slim a week and a bio cleanse every other day. Like, it's just, you're not going to see the results. Like you just, so it's just like, you have to be patient yourself as a leader and just keep, spoon feeding them until they get to that 90-day version of where that they can be, right?
And I like how you said you just want to strangle them, right? And it's okay. This is a safe space. We can say this.
Love.
Because we want the best for them. And Nikki is probably laughing because I know we've had some problems with some of her people. She's been ready to pull out her beautiful hair. But you're just like, how are you not following my directions? And you want it for them so desperately, right? Like we get stuck in that point where we're like, I want this more for you because I actually understand what this will do for you, right? And you're not getting it. Just take the dang stuff. Just, I don't care how you get it in you, just take it, right? This is a 30-day supply. If you still have 4 months, you're not taking it right. It's not, you're not doing it right. Just follow what I'm saying to you, right? And the other piece too is dripping that belief into them even after they've signed up, right? Continuing that follow-up with them and sending them testimonies and tagging them in things so that they can see it over and over and over again, right? Any thoughts?
And I think, I don't know, I'm talking a lot, so tell me to shut up if I need to. But I think, like I love all the products of Plexus, but I think we have to remember to remind people, and we all know this, Plexus in itself is not a magic pill. So, I mean, we can't just be asking, are you taking your stuff every day? What are you feeding your body? What are you drinking? Sometimes I know for me, I needed to go for colon cleanses. I needed an extra help of getting things out. Some people need extra liver support because they're dealing with a lot of toxic issues. Like, it's good to be knowledgeable on other things too, and use Plexus as a tool to help with maybe some other things that they're dealing with as well.
Yep. And Brooke goes into that, right? She talks like, don't just assume that everything is detox. Like, ask them how they're doing. Like, what's going on? Like, oftentimes after I ask, like, okay, how are you pooping? How's your water? You know, whatever. Then the next question often is like, how's life? How's stress? How's your hubby doing? How are your kids? And then all of a sudden it comes up that, you know, the kids run away and they've got, you know, an elderly parent staying with them unexpectedly. And they've got all these things, these stress load things that you're like, oh my word, that's right there. What are you doing for your own mental health right now? Like Lisa was saying, like, I gotta go run around the block like 3 times a day, right? And for some people, especially over the last year, you know, we've seen, I remember about 3 months into the whole quarantine thing, there was a whole bunch of jewels that were starting to say, you know, like, I'm feeling really crappy again. Like, I don't know what's happening. And somebody was like, hello, our world has completely changed. Have you done anything different with your supplements to support you? You realize that this is just like, this is maintenance. We sometimes need to step it up and do things a little bit differently, like 2 Vital Biome. Hello, gift from above. 2 Vital Biome and 4 E's at times that things are just not going super great, right? Don't be afraid to press into those hard things with people. And again, another reason why we're different. This is not just having a product exchange hands. FYI, you're doing a business where you're walking with people, and sometimes it gets messy. Guys, don't be afraid to get into the mess with people. It is such a reward, personally. And you realize that people are not just trusting you with vitamins. You might end up being the only person that they tell X, Y, and Z to. And gosh, you literally just like, you got in touch with them because they want to sleep better. And then all of a sudden this other stuff is coming up. Guys, this is a gift. If we just think that we're selling people a multivitamin, we're missing the entire opportunity of what this business is. Does anybody have anything to add to that piece? Stories?
I do. I have a lady that she has a lot of different health issues, but in the middle of quarantine and all this kind of stuff, and she has a bunch of other life stuff happening as well, and she's become a dear friend of mine. And I actually met her through a chronic pain group on Facebook, and she's just like, she just really appreciates the support during this hard time in her life, but also with her supplements and all this kind of stuff. When she has a flare up, or when she has she's allergic to a lot of things and doesn't do well with vitamin C, so we had to make a few adjustments here and there, as you can imagine. With BioCleanse, has lots of vitamin C, so but she said to me a few times, she says, Chelsea, I'm not upset or blaming you for any of these things that are happening to me. I'm just so happy that you're here to support me in this. But I have a lot of health issues, and so I just really appreciate you taking the time. Like, she just has felt so thankful over and over and over again, because she's just like, I am so done with doctors just trying to take care of all the fruit of the issue and not cut down the tree, for Pete's sake. And she's just really excited to be for me to be walking alongside of her in this way. And so I love it. It's so rewarding for myself, just because like I know that it's really making a big difference in her health and in her life. And she's also appreciative. So it's kind of like, it feels like a partnership, but more than that, it feels like a friendship. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just like, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know.
It truly is. Yep, for sure. Carrie looked like she almost wanted to unmute.
I did, but I didn't know if it was the right time or place. I was thinking back to when you were talking about how Brooke and Christy were talking about the confidence that they speak with when they're dealing with people. And then I was thinking, as a senior gold, sometimes I don't emulate that confidence. And I'm thinking of the silvers, and that, yeah, of course, Brooke Hemingway is going to speak with confidence. She has helped thousands of people, right? But when you don't have that background of having actually physically helped that number of people, that's why we have the testimonies, and that's why we read those daily, and we build our confidence and build our belief in our products, because we do know what it can do for people, and that will grow your sureness in how you recommend stuff to your people, right?
Love that. Love that. And can I just say, you can be unsure of yourself at silver, at gold, at senior gold, at ruby, at senior ruby, at emerald, sapphire, diamond. There's no point when you gain assurance of what you know by the rank you are. It all comes from here, and a decision to be able to say, hey, I know what I'm talking about, right? I love what Carrie said. Read those testimonies, you guys. Watch those diamond documentaries. I love Emily Gibson had said back in one of the momentum movements that when she was going to diamond the first time, she watched a diamond documentary every night before bed.
Hey, just a little tip that I've tried to do, and maybe I haven't passed down to my girls enough, but just talking about follow-up. When I start a new group chat, one of the things I do is at the very top, when I'm welcoming them and sharing with them who is going to be in this group chat that's going to be supporting them, is I put what their goals are at the top. And I think this was a Brooke thing, or somebody said that they did it. Who knows where it came from. But then, so that, you know how, at least in my experience with the team I have, and how much it's growing. I cannot keep track of people's goals that they had or why they started. So why not have it right in that group chat? So you start, helping somebody and you go, okay, what are we dealing with? Why did they start? And so, it can be as little as, hey, everybody, this is Tammy, and she's just starting on the products. She's starting with the triplex, and her goals are she would like to have less sugar cravings, less bloating, less constipation. And so blah, 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 whatever. So at least then you don't have to go running around talking to your downline. Why did she start again? What, in there. We all do, people. in the other chats. What's going on here? Like, give me some insight, people, right? So I would just really, really, really encourage you that when you make that group chat, to do that. My first initial, what I say to people has changed over the years. And I hope that at some point in this call, we can give some, maybe you have some tips yourself about what you've been doing and we can all learn from each other. But yes, that would be just one major one, I would say, for
Awesome.
out a group chat.
And I'm gonna actually give you guys a tip on that as well. If you are, this is like a hands-on tip. If you're in a group chat, here's an easy way to find that. If every time you introduce somebody, you say their goals are, guess what we can do? So click on the top. I'm just using our growing from gold or growing to gold mastermind. You click on the top, so it brings this screen up. There is a little thing that says search in conversation right here. You can click that, and then you can use a keyword like goals, and you search. And then every time the word goals is mentioned in that chat, it's brought up and you can just click on it and be like, hello.
That is super helpful, Janelle. I love that.
Yes, that's brilliant. I've been wondering for a while, like, there's got to be a way that you can search things.
And here's
I know
another,
this topic was mentioned in here. How do I find it? That's awesome.
here's another thing. There's a photos and videos piece. So if you guys are wondering, oh, hey, what was the name of that book? Or somebody shared that screenshot in here. I know it was in here. You click on photos and you can bring up the Building a Story brand book that was shared in our chat or whatever. I love using those search options. It's not rocket science. It's just one of those things, right? One thing I did want to mention quickly, and then Jimmy, I'll pass it back over to you. In case you guys didn't see it, this last week, I shared into the Leader Lounge, Brittany Howard's 30-day customer care system. And it outlines every piece of, like, every touch that she has with people. And it is a lot of touches. It's not like 3. So the first day, she adds someone to their team page. She said, I love this. Send a sample of a product they didn't order in the mail. Send a YouTube video about perks. Send a welcome email. And then day 2 is, okay, got you added to the team page. And then talks about perks. Plexus has gifted you however many perks you can redeem for free product on your subscription. Like, just go through that, right? It's just, and when Brooke was saying, have something saved to your phone. I remember when we did this initially, that was when I saved things in the notes, started using the notes section of my phone. If I lost the notes section of my phone, I would be devastated. The notes section of my phone is so important. If you're not using this as a business tool, you need to. So if I am talking to somebody, this makes it so that the app is like, yeah, you know what, I'll use the app, but I don't need to. If the app is down or anything like that, this is what I do. I have a note subsection called shareable videos. In fact, it's spelled wrong, and there's like a letter missing in it or something on mine. But under that is all the videos that I typically would share with somebody. It's got the microbiome video. It's got the 6 women video that has Wendy Larson and Brenda Martin and Eva and Kristen and like all those people. It's got that one. It's got Abby Kappa's Diamond documentary that Plexus uses to share. It's got the Nourish One video from the US. I don't know what else. I think there's 6 of them in there. Anyway, so that's part of my shareable videos. And then I've also got one that's graphics. And what's in there? Well, I've got welcome pack graphics. They're the ones that Sherry Grant and Amy Andre and I had worked on. They revamped them and whatever. They're all in Grow, but it's basically the conversation of here's a welcome pack. Here's how you start it. Here's what's in it. Here are products that complement it. Something you can send people when they order. It also has our income disclosure, like that really easy Instagram slide that shows how much people make. It also has all of our price lists. For Pete's sake, please share the, please put the price lists in your phone. It's so easy to pop it up and be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. I don't know how much stuff costs, guys. I don't know what the PV of things are often. I know that ease and slim equals 100 PV. That's what I know. Do not think that you need to learn all of these things. No, you just need to make it easy to find them. So create note sections on your phone that will help your business. And even if it's like, there's a certain thing that I say to everybody on day one, like you could take this whole customer care thing, make it your own, but you could make a customer care note subsection in your phone. And it could be day 1. And then underneath it is exactly what you would send to somebody on day 1. Day 3, exactly what you would send to somebody. And guess how long it takes you to follow up with people? Copy and paste. Done. And it's not robotic. It is making sure that everybody has the same thought through right information right? Like, take the guesswork out. Oh, Jimmy, you're unmuted. You're not muted, or you are muted.
There. Okay, there we go. Something I was going to say, because this comes up a lot with new ambassadors that I have that are starting to, they want to get to silver, they're starting to create a business, is they say, you know, I don't want to bug them. I don't, you know, how do I do this? How, you know, I don't want to say that they have to do this or whatever. And I say, hey, and this is again a Brooke thing. They don't know what Plex is about. They don't know how we do things. So words I use is this: hey, this is so awesome. One of the perks you get as being an ambassador is you get a support system of, you get this group chat on Messenger, and you're going to get myself and 2 other ladies who have been doing this longer than I have, whatever words you want to say. And we're going to be here to support you. And we're also going to get you into this group, this information. I'm changing a little bit of my wording so that people understand that, because they're so new to it, right? I'm also going to add you to a group, an information group called Grow, that's going to help you in your journey to better health and happiness. It's going to be really good information in there. So please, when I invite you, please click yes, because that's going to be vital. And then I'm going to be tagging you and stuff. And so I try to, because I'm going to forget, I work, I'm going to forget. So right away, I'm going to do this, and this. Like, I'm going to get it all in. And yeah, we're learning, people. I'm still learning, okay? I'm still changing things. But the reality is, if I don't do it right now and I don't give them the information right now, I'm going to forget, or either something in their first day, they're going to not do, you know, they'll start taking the product, the information off the back of the bottle, if I don't get that information in there about how to go about it. So that's just another little tip, is that you don't ask them if they want a 3-way chat. You just do that if that is their mode of communication. Remember what she said that if it is to do WhatsApp or to just text, fine. But if they're on Messenger, then that is the way I do it. I just say, hey, we're going to set this up. This is a perk.
Well, and I love that, Jimmy, because it's how you positioned it to them. It wasn't about you, right? And Brooke and Emily, can you tell that I've been in momentum movement too many times? Brooke and Christy talked about that. Follow-up is not about you. And when we fail in it, when we make it about us and not about them, right? And so when we tell them, it's, you know, some people say, well, I can't get anybody to accept my invitation to the group page. And then I think, so what are you projecting about that? When I talk to people about it, and I don't have anybody who doesn't accept my invitation to the group page. And I don't talk about it as mine. This is your support community that I think will be integral in your success in taking your product. It is a support community that will give you so many layers of extra added information, videos, how to take the product, anything for troubleshooting. You need to be there. You are going to want to be there. And it's all your verbiage with them, right? So I'm sending you the information. And if for whatever reason, if I'm on a device that I can't copy the link directly from Grow, that would be actually another thing. I don't know why I don't have those in my notes. If you take the link from Grow and you stick it in the notes section of your phone, you can send them the link directly to the page after you invite them, so that if the invite gets lost in their notifications, they have the link to go directly to the page and they have to accept it. And I always say, accept the invitation because I want to tag you in some things right away. And then they'll know that they need to go and do that action and then come back, right? Same thing with the chats, right? So, and especially if you guys are newer, I mean, I don't always get roped into a three-way chat with everybody, but I'm okay with my level 1s and my level 2s or my adopteds pulling me in, even if they're like superstars. I just want to hang out. Like, remember, this is a lot about relationship, right? Like, I just want to hang out. Like, I just want to get to know them and realize that that's just another person that they can come to. Like, it's not a, hey, you don't need me anymore. It's a, I would love to get to know this person that you've brought in. Like, that's great. I love getting to know people. So sorry, Leona said, would you share your follow-up customer care notes? I did. Which ones? The customer care notes are the ones that I put into the leader lounge. Is that what you're meaning? Or are you talking about my shareable videos? Okay, yeah. So those notes are all in the leader lounge. But when you do a three-way chat, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, so say that you're a silver, say you're fairly new. Here's something that you could say to people. Hey, so I'm really excited for you to get going on your journey. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know all the things. And that's why I have my friend Carrie, and she is going to help us, and I'm going to learn and you're going to learn. And she's also really fun. So I'm just going to stick us into a three-way chat. And if you have any questions, I want you to come in there. And if I don't know the answer, then she's going to be able to pop in. Or sometimes it's great, like 3 heads are better than 2, right? Because sometimes, honestly, when I come into a three-way chat, the easy question, I love coming in to ask the easy questions. And it's also third-party validation, right? It's like the easy questions are like, so how much water are you drinking? Oh, I'm having like 3 glasses a day. Oh, how big are the glasses? Like, are they like big glass jugs, or like, because I need 3 of these a day, right? And so it's okay to have that extra brain, because sometimes we get so stuck. How many of us have been stuck in, like, you almost pigeonholed yourself into, this is my belief, and then somebody comes in and they're like, oh shoot, I totally didn't even think about that, right? It's just adding an extra brain, because I know I can use an extra brain every now and again. Leona, if it's something specific, ask, because I ran over something. Who was going to say something? Go ahead. Nikki?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was just gonna say that was big takeaways for me with this video was just like follow up isn't us hounding people or bugging people. That's just the next step in our support for the people. They came to Plexus for a reason, and that follow up is so important to support them to get to those health goals. And just, I like some of their verbiage and stuff because it's just really good in that, yeah, this is just that next step that we need to do. I like when Christy Jacks talks about when she first started and they wanted her to do follow-up. She's like, what? Like, I just bugged these people. I've already got pancake. What did she call it? Pancake, armpit pancakes?
Or armpit tacos.
Oh yeah, armpit tacos from
tacos.
signing them up. And now you want me to follow up? And so, yeah, so I love your guys' verbiage that you and Jimmy Lou just shared for starting three-way chats. Because I know, you know, I've got some gals who were sharing and to get their products paid for, but not to keep going with the business. And I struggled with getting them to start three-way chats. And I think it's because they saw it as, I don't want to bug them, you know, and so they didn't start it, but that's not what those chats are for. So I know my support chat was so important for me when I first started. I was like overdo it in there asking questions, but I value that so much and I needed that. And I never once felt like the ladies that I didn't know, like you, Jimmy Lou, Tracy, I didn't know you guys, but I never once felt like you guys were in there hounding me or bugging me or just trying to get me to buy product, right? I really value, it was such an important piece that helped me to keep going, or I might not have kept going.
Yeah, I'm just simply there to harass you and send funny pictures. Like you got to have the person in there that's the comic relief, right? No. And you know, it's okay to say to your downline, like, hey, like maybe they haven't totally bought into the Plexus culture thing yet, and you know you need to be that injection. You can say to them, if you want your friend to be successful, we need to set up this chat, because there might be a point in your journey where you don't know the answer, or you hit a rough patch, or maybe you have a kid that is sick with the flu and your person hits detox, and then what, right? Then you're 4 days into the flu and you realize that this person has taken 8 BioCleanse and can't figure out why they're pooping their brains out, right? Like, and that's a long time to poop your brains out.
Sorry, Janelle, can I just, because I just want to make this clear for people.
Absolutely.
Your customer care notes are located where in the Grow Leader Lounge? Where?
I posted it on February 10th, and it says Brittany Howard shares her 30-day customer care.
Okay, so that's,
bump it up to the top.
okay.
Jimmy Lou, I just tagged you.
Yeah, I know, I knew where it was at, but it sounded like I was thinking that you were saying that you put your personal, but this is some of the things that you use yourself. That's what you're saying, right?
This is a really good outline. Yeah.
Good. Okay, there we go.
It's a really good outline. I would suggest that you guys go through there, you know, put them into the note section of your phone as like day 1, day 2, you know, whatever, and then tweak things, right? Like maybe you want to stick a video in there that's totally Canadian. I don't know. Maybe there's something in there that you're like, oh, I would really love to see this, right? Like I love that 6 women video. So I'm going to grab it from my notes. I also need to go through my note section in my phone. Okay, so you'll laugh because I have a folder that's sharing Plexus, but I did it so quick. It's sharing space PLE space capital US. Plus. Haven't gone to fix it because, you know. So yeah, under my shareable videos in my phone, I have ProBio CA overview, the Dr. Logan Convention Triplex video, the new Triplex video with Dr. Logan, Abby Kappa's Diamond Doc, the product lifestyle video from the US, which is really cool, the microbiome video, the new 6 women, and the Nourish One US. So I will do a post in the Leader Lounge on the videos that I have for sharing Plexus when I go to share things with them. Now on the app, when you're in the Canadian piece, they're going to be slightly different videos because they have to be Canadian compliant. So in my mind, you guys can learn how to use the app. That's great. There will be some people that choose to use it and some people that don't. I look at it as for new people, it's going to be super simple for them to use because they don't know what else is out there. We happen, you know, it's hard to break habits. So I like sending the videos that I like to send. So these are the ones that I send. And actually 99.9% of the time, I will send the microbiome video. And then if I need to send something else, it'll usually be the triplex video by Dr. Logan. And then to amplify their belief, it's the 6 women video.
I was just going to say in my YouTube, I have the videos that, you know, I have the, if you look up Plexus Worldwide, let me see if it still works. I think that the main videos, yep, support your gut. So the triplex, different ones, opportunity, they all do show up. So that's easy too. And then I think I just have in my library, I have a Plexus videos that I like to use. So I have that in there. When I started, we didn't have these fancy little videos. We use Wendy Larson's 18 minutes. And if somebody really just ready for this, they were going to listen to the whole 18 minutes.
But do you remember how we used to get people to watch it? I remember what I used to say to people because it was on like the Rock the Pink Live and the screenshot of Wendy. Like Wendy is a gorgeous woman, but the angle is awful. Like totally awful. So what I would say to get people to listen to it would be like, hey, here's a video that explains everything. It's a little bit long, but just pardon the unkind angle of my friend Wendy. She's gorgeous, but oh, it is just not good. And people would watch it just to see the stupid camera angle and it would get them hooked on the information because it was so dang good.
Well,
but the camera angle was legitimately awful.
I would say her eyes looked something to the point like, okay, just so you know, her eyes look super crazy in this video, but it's really not, that's not who like she is.
Yeah. Yeah, she's super smart. I love that. I wanted to, actually forgotten about that one. We should share that one again. Sorry, go ahead, Nikki.
I was just going to say too, when I first started, there wasn't all these nice little short compact videos either. And I remember like, I just wanted to share with people and tell people, and I had no idea what I was doing. And there was a few people I sent like Jessica Hugendorn, but the video was like 20 some minutes long. And I'd be like, I know this is really long, but go to like 12 minutes and 30 seconds. And now I'm like, oh my goodness. But hey,
can you guys hear this? These are people that are super successful in this business. And we were sharing videos that were 28 minutes long and people were joining us. Do you know what the difference is? The difference is your conviction. I'm sorry, but I love sales. You guys, I love sales. If you know, like, I will go into a store and if there's something that I see that somebody is looking at that I love, I will sell it to them. I will tell them why they should buy it. It has nothing to do with me. I love to give people solutions to what they're wanting to know about, right? And so it's all about how you sell it. It's about what you say about it, right? Like, how did we get people to watch the Wendy Larson video? Actually, Jimmy, I would say, watch that poor lady's, pardon the lady's crazy eyes. She's a sweetheart. It's just a really unkind camera angle. And everyone would watch for the crazy eyes, right? Jessica Hogendorn, how would we sell it? She is a naturopath who took over a year to believe in Plexus, but you have to hear the story about her daughter and how she detoxed from her chemotherapy drugs. It's phenomenal. You will love it, right? And we talked about it with such vigor and such belief that people watched it and they believed too. It can be the same thing. And Carrie says you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. It's totally true. You can say things with a lot of belief, which also sets you up to feel like you know what you're talking about, because they're going to come back to you and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love that. It was this and this and this. Did you like, they'll ask you a question about it, right? Then they're engaged. Honestly, if you position it well, I say you can't send the wrong thing to the right person, as long as your positioning is right, and your heart is in the right place.
Don't be too hard on yourself, ladies. Honest to goodness, I know that we're shooting a lot of information to you, and you just watched an amazing video with people that are, third, fourth, I don't know, what is Brooke, fourth diamond or something ridiculous like that. But it goes back to your heart. It goes back to you just sharing your passion with people, that you truly want to see people feel better. Your heart goes out to them and they will see that. I don't know how many times I've screwed up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that, or I can't believe I said the text. Oh my word, and I remember like texting back and be like, okay, it didn't come out the way I wanted. I'm like, oh my goodness, I think this is really going to help you. And people love that. They're like, hey, don't worry about it. It's okay.
Can I encourage, use your audio messages. That is something I've grown in a ton in the last 6 months. And I can't tell you how many people have said to me, it was so nice to hear your voice, or it was so nice to actually, it just comes off better when you're doing it through voice than texting everything. Sometimes it's good to text like a short little message and whatever. And I don't always like to see 9 like 1 minute long audio messages from people, and I try not to send that to people. But yeah,
and actually, I was just gonna say, I remember Fallon Black saying, if something can't be sent in 2 voice messages back and forth, a conversation, get on the phone.
Yeah.
So if you are voice messaging back and forth with one of your ambassadors, a business builder, anybody, and you guys are going back and forth like that, just phone them. I don't know what our phone phobia is now, right? Anybody ever was afraid to like order a pizza when they were a kid and their parents made them because they hated to get on? Yeah. Okay. So this is the next thing, right? Getting on the phone with people. And yeah, Lisa, I agree. Like you can't search those messages when you need to go back, but that's why if you only keep them short, and you could even say like underneath them, you could pop in a little text that would just say, just for later, in case you're looking, these messages are about poop. I don't know. Pick something.
Good point. Yeah. I use that search thing.
Yeah, the search
before all the time too, but then I'll do that now too.
Yeah. The one thing I did want to make sure that we talked about, and I left my piece of paper, and so we'll just maybe conclude on this. I left my piece of paper upstairs, so I'm going to see if I can remember them all. But did you guys not love what Brooke said when she was checking with people? How's your energy? How's your digestion? How's your sleep? Your cravings? Your mood? Thank you. Those are 5 things. Like you could put those on a sticky note and stick them to your computer. And those are the easy things to ask somebody about. The other thing that I adore about how she talks to people is when she says, hey, I know you're only like 2 weeks in, or you're only 3 days in. What are you loving about your product? It takes away that, so how are you doing? And you're just waiting, right? For the shoe to drop, for them to tell you that they hate the taste of Slim. I don't really care. My husband is how many years in and he still doesn't love the taste of Slim, but he takes it because it could be a whole lot worse and he knows the benefits, right? What are you loving? What are you loving about Plexus? So here is my challenge for you guys for right now. You guys ready? It's going to be real hard. What are you loving about Plexus? What are you loving about your product? What are you loving about your business? Because if you cannot identify the areas that you find joy in with Plexus, you will not stick to it. if you are finding stress every time you open your back office, if you are finding stress every time you look at the people there and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't followed up with this person in however long, I'm just a horrible, stop. That's about you and not about them. Saying, don't let another day go by without touching base with them. Talk to them, right? The other piece is, especially for those of you who are relatively new, find joy in the repetition. This business is not rocket science. It is finding joy in the repetition. Starting somebody, knowing that you're going to have to go through these follow-ups with them, that's joyful. You get to start in that. You get to start somebody on their journey to something better. Hey, we hit detox. That's so exciting. I remember one particular person who was hitting a super big wall of detox. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that this isn't exciting to you, but to me, I am so thrilled that you are doing this right now, because even though it's uncomfortable, it means that your body is ready to go. And we're going to do some amazing things. So hang on, I'm going to send you some info on how you can get through this. But I am so excited for you. And you can tell them, I'm not happy you're miserable, but I am happy you're miserable. It's actually okay. Oh, Jimmy.
Right.
There you go.
I said, I try to normalize it, right? Like, oh yeah, I totally, I feel for you. That's what I usually say. Like, I experience that too. So many people experience that. It's not a bad thing. Really, 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 truly, it's not a bad thing. But we're gonna maybe just tweak some things here and help you through this. And then, I usually follow up. I do have something that I follow up with, and it's quite long, and about some detox stuff, and I don't mind sharing it with people. I'm sure they've seen it before. I don't know where I got it from, but if somebody wants it, I can send it to them. I just don't want to put it into this because it's so long. And then, well, I mean, I guess I could put it in the group chat, but I don't want to fill up.
Throw it into the leader lounge, and you could just say information I send people on detox.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And I liked what Jimmy was saying there, and it reminded me that I was going to just mention the feel, felt, found method, right? You guys, it's a thing. I totally get how you feel. I felt the same way, or I know someone who felt exactly the same way. But what we found is, guys, it helps in parenting too. Feel, felt, found all the time. 6 ways to Sunday. Feel, felt, found. It is a thing. I understand how you feel. Oh, I'm so sorry you're feeling that way. I felt the same way. Or I've read stories of people who felt the same way, and what they found is it's validating people. Amy just said, I'm finding it harder to connect with my gals who are not experiencing detox.
Since we've been using ease so much in so many of our stuff, they're not. Like, they flow through, they get in a rhythm. It's good. They like it. It's good. They're going great. They're consistent. They're like trucking right along. You're like, and okay.
So then I guess we need to adjust our own expectations, right? We don't need to expect them to hit detox if we are adding that extra ease or adding the extra vitamin B, which is what Brooke does. And you can tell them, like, I'm so excited. We have found the right concoction for you to start on. I'm so happy that this is working with your body. Aren't you excited that you're not bloating? Yes, I'm excited you're not bloating. And you can share other people's stories and be like, hey, but you know what? Your body's really responding well to this. I bet, and you could even say to them, I love that you're finding this. I'm going to use this with my other person here. I'm going to use your story. I won't tell them what your name is, but I'm going to use your story to encourage this person over here who isn't taking ease yet. And almost validate them through passing on what they're winning with. Okay, guys. Follow up. find your system for this week, press into it, do some hard follow-up with people. If you only have 3 people, guys, I remember when I was newer and I had like 10 ambassadors or 20 ambassadors, and I would go through and I would do the sheet, right? Like our IPA sheet in the back of Grow in the files. And I would have followed up with all my people. And I did my reach outs and I was sitting there going, okay, I wish I had more people to follow up with, because I followed up with all my people. And if I follow up with them again, they're gonna think I'm crazy. I don't have anybody else to follow up with. So gosh, what am I gonna do? Well, guess what? If you're in that situation, that's fantastic. Go reach out to more people. Go put more people in your funnel that you're gonna have to follow up with in 3 months, because they're already gonna be ambassadors by then, right? You can adjust this.
And use this time, if you don't have very many people, to learn your back office, learn the product, read or listen to those diamond documentaries, and set up a system, like Janelle was saying, that will work when you do have a bigger team. And one thing I've really liked is using my saved button on Facebook. So sometimes I might not have the time at that moment to put it in my notes or to write it down, but then I go back, I scroll something and I see it, I'm like, oh, and then I go back to find it, I can't find it. As soon as I find something I like, save it. You can save it, you can make subtitles in your saved thing on Facebook. So saved info to send to clients, saved, information that I want to read, whatever your subcategories are, just save it so that you can go back to it and remember it.
Awesome tips. Fantastic. Okay, we want to close up here. Anybody else have any last thoughts, Jimmy?
Just, ladies, I know that your passion for helping people is there because you're on this call, okay? So your passion to do your very best for these people, it's showing because you're here. And so don't forget that. Don't beat yourself up either, like, oh, I don't have a system yet, or oh, where do I start? Please do not. That serves you nothing. It serves you no purpose. It puts you in the wrong direction today. I want you to start thinking, how am I going to be able to, this is a time of growth. What can I do to be able to serve the people better around me? And start there. Start with the positive. Start with, oh, I'm so glad that at least I started my day here. And now I am just excited to see where this is going to carry me through today. Life is busy. We have so many things going on around us. If I can just encourage you again, just take a moment today and think about what Janelle says. What are you loving about this company? What are you loving about your business? What are you loving about your products? What I'd like to see, which I think would be awesome with this, is if everybody can put that in the Grow group, those 3 things. I think you asked for 2 or 3, whatever. If we could put that, what would be really cool is I would love to see, I think that could turn into a really awesome for stories, is that if you guys do that, I'll do the rest, and I'll get a picture from each of you, and I'd love to see that. Just make it really short, like I love, or what I like about my Plexus products, it's helped me with this, or whatever. Keep it very, really short. I'm going to see if I can do a story. I'm going to try. So if you guys are okay with that.
Hey, for all of us oldies, I'm looking for a video that is the original. You really have to be an oldie for this. It's the video that they played at the beginning of our launch, our Canadian launch, and we've seen it a few times, but it's got like Sheila Medina talking, and it shows like the room that they met in. It looks like the back of a warehouse, and they talk about how we started in wherever it was in Atlanta, and like they go through all the, do you know what I'm talking about? If you guys find that video, yeah. Send it to me or send it in the chat, because I still absolutely get goosebumps when I watch that video. It just totally gets me, and I want to share that with you guys. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, and we will have the next video to go next week. Don't forget, we're going to be starting that book study. We still don't have a time yet, but building a story brand, get the book in your hands and start it off. Laura Clausen is going to be helping us go through this book. I'm so excited. It really did change her posting. And like we talked about before, she sponsored a ton of people. And so I think that that would be a really great next step for us once we are done this. So anyway, have a great Saturday, guys. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll talk soon. Bye.